faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing."
When the stakes are high, the debates get hotter. When the issues demand clarity, we bring the fire. Welcome to Crossfire. Crossfire, where politics meets perspective, where issues are dissected, and where no topic is off limits. From the corridors of power to the pulse of the streets, we break down the politics, the controversies, and the decisions that shape our nation. Join Dr. Tony Olisangbeki as he puts guests on the hot seat, drilling them with the tough questions, demanding the hard truths, and leaving no room for half measures. Get ready for fearless conversations and uncompromising analysis. Crossfire, exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha, every Saturday from 9 a.m.
A very beautiful morning to you and welcome to Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. This very beautiful Saturday morning, today being the 18th day in the month of July in the year 2026. Wherever you are listening to us from, whatever you may be doing and whoever you may be with, it's always a pleasure to welcome you on this epochal convergence of enlightened minds and even unenlightened ones, because we are here for everybody. You're welcome. Remember, on Crossfire, we speak the truth, we uphold the truth, and we preserve the truth. We call a spade, and we can never call a spade by any other name. More reason we say, nos dicere veritas, nos dicere iudicem veritas, and nos dicere vivica cabit veritas, and nos dicere lincolum, and nos dicere contra lincolum, wherever you are listening to us from. It's a pleasure to welcome you. It's 9 minutes on the hour of 9 a.m. here in Nigeria. 9 minutes on the hour of 4 a.m. in New York. And 9 minutes on the hour of 9 a.m. in London, United Kingdom. 9 minutes on the hour of 5 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan. And also 9 minutes on the hour of 10 a.m. in Germany. 9 minutes on the hour of 4 p.m. in China. And also 9 minutes on the hour of 8 p.m. in Auckland, Pacific, 40 minutes than the hour of 1 p.m. in Delhi, India, and also 10 minutes than the hour of 11 a.m. in Saudi Arabia, and 10 minutes than the hour of 3 a.m. in Texas City, and also 10 minutes than the hour of 4 a.m. in Ottawa, Canada, and 10 minutes than the hour of 8 a.m. in Ghana, and 10 minutes than the hour of 10 a.m. in Italy, Rome. Wherever you are listening to us, you are welcome. Remember, you can follow what we do here on social media platforms. Go to our Facebook, go to our Instagram, go to our TikTok, go to our X, and not forgetting YouTube. And even go to our website, www.radioudala.com, and be part of what we are doing. You can watch us online, you can be part of this, you can listen to us. Do not forget to drop a comment, share the program, because it's already on Facebook. Just share it for us. I think it's more important for you to share so that others will see and also listen to what you're listening. Onyanyelo, Yanyibia is important, because we must know very well that there is more blessing in giving than receiving. And you're welcome. My name is Tony Olisenbeki, the Honorable Speaker. Welcome you once again. Remember, as we do it here, we will first serve you the political roundup stories, but I have a guest in the studio who is here with me. And we'll be looking at the state of the nation as always. And we're going to look at some of the developing stories, developing incidents, developing issues in the country as the country prepares itself for the 2027 general election and every other thing you may need to know. Let me quickly introduce my guest this very morning. I have in the studio with me Barrister Chibo Enwezo, barrister at law. He is also former member, Anambra State House of Assembly, former House Committee Chairman on Judiciary. He's also a politician, public affairs analyst, public affairs commentator, and also a solicitor and advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. You are welcome. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Barrister Chibo Enwezo Odezilibo. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me, Tony Olisenbeki. Good morning, our listeners.
You're welcome. Let's quickly serve you the political random stories. When we come back, we go straight to the business of the day, which is the state of the nation. Trying to make sure that we get it as well prepared already. Well, that's not ready. Let's quickly go straight to the business of the day. All right, let's quickly begin with the very first story on the issue of the Appeal Court recent ruling. Remember, there was a case brought by the Youth Party. It was Youth Party versus INEC, and it has to do with the election timetable, because we were all told that the Court of Appeal was actually, of the view that INEC has the powers to undertake, organize, and supervise elections, and then by that, the Court of Appeal says that that is within their jurisdiction. But remember, in May 2026, the Federal High Court in Abuja, under Justice Muhammad Umar, ruled in favor of the Youth Party in that very suit. The court nullified parts of INEC's 2027 election timetable and guidelines, specifically deadlines requiring parties to submit membership registers database by May 10 as a condition for participation. Compressed timeline for party primaries, candidate nominations, submissions, withdrawals and substitutions, and related activities. In fact, the court held that INEC's power under the Electoral Acts 2026, Section 29, 82, 84 to monitor primaries and organize elections do not extend to fixing or abridging statutory timelines set by the Act itself. The Act says 120 days for candidate particulars under Section 29, subsection 1. And INEC guidelines or regulations cannot, according to the court, override or shorten clear provisions of the principal law, the Electoral Act. Any conflicting parts of the timetable were declared null and void. That the Act says the candidates shall submit the particulars not later than 120 days. That's clear provisions, and your guidelines must be in sync with that very clear provisions. But there was also a related XDP suit brought before Justice James Martha Shaw, which produced a mixed outcome, affirming INEC's general power to issue timetables but nullifying some nomination timelines, because James Omorosho says, you have powers to issue timetables, but you must also do it in accordance with the law. And then INEC appealed both decisions, even from Mohamed Omar and James Omorosho, to the Court of Appeal in Abuja, seeking to set both of them aside. It was applied for a stay of execution pending. But we learned that the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Adebukola Bankole, had arguments and ruled in favor of INEC. But then, questions are coming from different angles. Honorable Chiwe was, as a lawyer, you must be, before now, equipped with the position of Court of Appeal, where Court of Appeal says that, you know what, INEC has powers to do this. That both party, a registered political party that brought this issue before the court, lacks jurisdiction. In fact, lacks locus, not jurisdiction. Lacks locus. They don't have locus to even bring this before the court. How would this affect them? But the party says, we're a political party, we have candidates, we have people, and you are saying we lack locus? But appeal court is of the view that they lack locus. And also appeal court also ruled that INEC has power to issue timeline. Let's have a take on all this.
Thank you very much, Tony Olisandeke. Yes, the appeal court ruled that the political party that approached the High Court in the first instance lacked the locus to initiate the court case. And the question is, the question I would like to really ask at the beginning, rhetorical question, if you don't mind. That political party, youth party, is it a registered political party?
It's a registered political party.
If it is, I wonder how they will not have the locus to initiate proceedings over a matter that will affect them. Because they will be affected.
Establish how it had been affected by that.
Except I want to assume, like I've already tried to explain. Probably they are, if it is a registered political party, and they've approached the court, say, look, this timetable, for one reason or another, for this reason stated in their statement of claim or whatever, or their relating process.
Yeah.
Our party will be wrong-footed in the sense that probably won't have enough time, or is such that, looking at the time line, it will affect us in trying to do our primaries, to send our names of those who were successful, sell our form. It will affect us in that manner. So we are asking the court to say that INEC does not have the power to shorten or to elongate or shorten the time as provided for in the constitution to be able to do. So because it's a creation of the law, they are bound by the law creating it, like any other office. That is what we must first of all come to terms with. And if the law says that you provides a timeline, say not later than,
Yes.
they are at liberty to do those things, except but it's not later than.
Not later
But
than.
they have the latitude, if you so to speak, to maneuver within the timeline,
Yeah.
but not before or not later than,
Not before, not
as,
later than.
as provided by the
Yeah, of course.
party. So for me, if the constitution provides, like in those days, before it was amended, the election to the office of a governor will not be conducted, not before or no later than so to the date of the expiration of the that was interpreted in the case of Oba and Anduba. You know, if you remember the case of Anduba, when Anduba said that he was a governor in waiting. You know, after the pronouncement of the Supreme Court with regards to P2B and INEC, that said his election was not in election in 20, it wasn't 2010, that brought him as governor for 14 days. So that election ought not to have been conducted because the tenure of His Excellency Mr. P2B has not lapsed. You know, and declared that election null and void, and said INEC shouldn't have gone ahead to conduct. So after, because he had been declared, after P2B's when P2B completed that tenure, I was about to go for his second term. I did not put the case. Say, look, I won that election maybe 3 years ago, you know, so I have to now to complete. I was asked to step aside. The court said, no, you cannot do so. You know, that election is null and void, completely null and void. It was not conducted within one. You don't have an election and put it in the freezer in abeyance. I wait for 3 or 4 years for you. It doesn't work like that. It's not coronation.
Right.
And secondly, that election was in breach of the constitutional provision as to time lag.
Yeah.
So what am I saying? I'm saying that yes, INEC is within its powers to, except if INEC did not announce time like that is before or that exceeds the constitution.
Now let's quickly look at it.
They have the juggle within the time.
That's for INEC. They have the window to juggle within the timeline. Now the question is, look at the position of the law. The law was not talking to INEC. The law was talking to parties. There is difference between the law is talking to INEC, that you shall set a timeline for candidates to submit a listing not later than. The law wasn't talking to INEC. Rather, the provision of Section 29 was directly talking to political parties. Now, it says, because before now, under Electoral Act of 2022, it was 180 days. But it was amended and brought forward to 120 in the last amendment. The last amendment, 2026 amendments, brought the window down to 120. But in 2022, Electoral Act, as we had it before, it was 180 days. Let me quickly read it. A political party, not INEC now, a political party shall submit to INEC not later than 120 days before the date appointed for a general election the list of candidates it proposes to sponsor who must have emerged from valid primaries conducted by the party. The provision of Section 29 wasn't talking to INEC. It was talking to political parties. And the word there is shall. Now, INEC then created a window and abridged what this provision was directing political parties to do. It wasn't directing INEC. Now, it is believed that INEC, knowing fully well that this provision was directly talking to political parties, your timeline should be in accordance with what this provision was actually directing political parties to do. Now, political parties believe your guideline is inferior to this provision. That's what both parties was actually arguing. And both judges of the Federal High Court agreed Yes, it was a direct mandate to political parties, not you, INEC. And they said, INEC cannot stop us from doing what this provision has stated. And the both courts agreed. Now, appeal court did not even look into this substance. They said, no, you lack locus. Technically. They did not even argue this in detail. They said, you lack locus. The INEC, you have powers to set timetables and then invalidate and set aside the decisions of the lower courts. That's where we are.
Thank you. You see, when the court says, because we are now introducing slant into it, if the court rule, the court will appeal that they lack locus, then the court does not have jurisdiction to entertain the matter. If a plaintiff lacks the locus to bring the case, the court will not have power to look into the case.
And okay, you're saying, why would you set it aside when you know it has locus?
So if the court rule that they lack the locus to approach the court of first instance,
Yes.
that is the High Court, then if there is no locus, then there is no judicial power to be exercised.
Oh.
So it will affect the jurisdiction of the court.
Mm.
That's what we call substantive jurisdiction and procedural jurisdiction.
Substantive jurisdiction and procedural. Okay.
So if the Court of Appeal is of the view that the party that approached the court for the determination of this case does not have the locus standi,
Yeah.
the right to come, the right to stand before the court, if that is absent, then the jurisdiction of the court to deal with the matter is also will be absent.
Will be absent.
So that is the law.
Mm.
And if so, it should stop there. But if they now go ahead to make pronouncement and say, look, even INEC was right in the timetable, or
Yeah, they made a pronouncement and say that they have powers.
They're also exercising the right of the court being an intermediate court to determine the main case. In the event the Supreme Court holds that they were wrong in holding that they don't have locus standi.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court will also look into their decision based on the merit of.
Let me take you back to
Now,
this, because it's exactly what Supreme Court said when appeal court ruled that the matter be taken back to
yes.
a particular court and then said,
So in order to avoid that situation,
yeah,
the Supreme Court has said, so the Court of Appeal should also make a pronouncement, because it's not the final court.
yes,
Make a pronouncement based on the substantive matter before you.
yes,
So in the event the Supreme Court feels that they were wrong on the issue of locus standi, there will also be the substantive matter will also be available for the Supreme Court to pronounce finally or on. That was what happened.
okay. Do you listen to INEC argument?
No,
That
now-
is hypothetical, it's academic,
That's
that
what I
if
said.
they go on that this will disrupt the administrative
Yes.
plan of
No,
this were the argument
If-
before the appeal court.
If INEC argued in that manner, and the Court of Appeal agreed with them, that is the position of the law until it is set aside by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I don't sit on appeal over the decision of the Court of Appeal, but where I think as a lawyer that they have erred, I have the capacity or the qualification to say so. And let me tell you, you see, you said the section was not referring to INEC, and you have earlier in your introduction said, and that is right, it's a constitutional provision. INEC is a creation of section 153 F of the Constitution, and their powers are shown in the schedule to the Constitution.
Exactly.
To undertake, to organize, undertake,
Yes.
and supervise election.
Yes.
So how can you undertake and organize supervise election if that provision is not applicable? Will the political party submit to themselves? They will submit to INEC.
They will submit to INEC.
So they will submit those things to themselves.
They will submit to INEC.
INEC is the organizer, the undertaker, and the
Yes.
supervisor
Exactly.
of the election. That is the constitutional mandate.
Yes.
And the constitution also granted INEC to make guidelines of INEC it also flows from the constitutional provision that they have the right to make guidelines. Guidelines is just procedure to be sure you can be able to do this work effectively.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't have any all these things contained in the Constitution.
Yes.
That's why the Constitution gives them the power to make guidelines.
Okay.
Guidelines is what will help them
To
to go into the specifics
yes.
of how election will be
They want to
organized.
take.
And it is a constitutional provision, just like the way the Constitution grants the court, the chief justice
Yeah.
of the court, to make rules. The constitution creates the court, but it can make rules.
Yes.
Make rules for the court. So when you're coming to the court, you follow the rules.
But if the rule is also against the clear provision of the law, what happens?
So as the rule is not inconsistent with the provision
Yeah, what happens?
So they have to show
Okay.
that guideline is inconsistent with the
With provision.
Constitution.
Exactly.
So in that case, if the Constitution, like I said earlier, like I moved earlier, if the constitutional provision gives a space of time like 180 or 120
Yeah.
days, it means that thing can have or could happen within that 120 days, not
later than.
not later than or not before.
Yes.
So the INEC now will not make a regulation to enable them, because when you submit those papers,
Yes.
names, the INEC will look at it now. INEC will do some
Exactly.
publication. There are some administrative work to be done,
Yes.
and they have vision the guidelines. So they will then organize themselves for the
Exactly.
election. So
Yes.
they are the one organizing, they are the one supervising, they are the one, So it's not that it's that so he's not talking to. He's talking to the electoral system. Because it's called Electoral Act.
Yes.
And INEC is the chief organizer and regulator.
Yes.
Are the players.
Mm.
INEC will not go contrary to the Electoral Act. But the Electoral Act gives a time
Line
and
to
say not later than
done.
or not before than.
Yes.
Then they can make regulation to say if the electoral allows us 120 days
Yes.
or 180 days,
Yes.
then we can have you submit your names in 90 days to the time, in 100 days, not exactly that 120
Not
days.
later than 120.
Yes.
That's what the law says.
If they go beyond 120, they will be acting contrary to the
All right.
constitution. If they go less than, depending, they will be acting contrary. That is
the position of.
you cannot say they are acting outside the constitution.
All right.
That is where you cannot say validly that guideline will not contradict the constitution.
Wow.
And if it does, it will be null and void to the extent of its.
All right, I will wait Supreme Court to make their pronouncement, just as we have stated earlier on. The Federal High Court under Muhammad Omar, in fact, invalidated some of the guidelines the court believes were inconsistent with the provision of Electoral Act, and then says that the law was very expressive.
Just take, for example, take the case of Musa against INEC about registration of political parties.
Okay.
When they were, was it this party? Was it?
Is it NDC?
Not NDC. Musa against Musa is late now.
Okay, Malala Musa.
So they said when they approached INEC for registration of National Consensus Party.
Okay. Or People's Redemption Party?
Something like that.
Okay.
INEC refused to register. They now told INEC, you don't have the power to refuse once you have satisfied the constitutional provision.
Yeah.
Once we've satisfied
Constitutional provision.
the constitutional provision for
Registration.
then you are duty bound
To do that.
So that because say yes, because INEC issued guidelines. So look, that guideline is contrary. You cannot issue a guideline that will add to
Or
or
subtract
from the
provision of the law.
Because what you are doing is to amend the
Constitution.
which you don't have
The
right
powers to do.
So they approached the court because when they got to the people said no, INEC guideline was null and void.
None of void
So far as the political parties for that was
is involved.
because they have satisfied the constitution. They are duty bound to this.
Exactly. Remember last election in 2023 general election, INEC gave us the guidelines, and he told us in the guideline that there will be IREV election viewing portals, that Nigerians will see how these results will be trickling in. There will be automatic counting and all that. Political parties believe this. And guess what? When the presidential election, IREV was disrupted, people were not seeing as much as they did see during the senatorial or House of Representatives elections. They saw those things. IREV worked. But during presidential, IREV failed to work. And political parties, in fact, in one of their prayers, in one of the grants, challenged INEC, saying that you went against their guidelines. And for that reason, the results shall be declared null and void. You know what Supreme Court did? Supreme Court said INEC guidelines are not law. They're not binding. It's just to help them. And Supreme Court ruled that for the fact we did not see those things on IREV, the result, the way they were coming in and all that, because INEC felt that it cannot be a ground to declare results null and void because INEC guidelines, Supreme Court, in that ruling said we are not law, but they were just guidelines to guide them. I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
See, I have read Obi and INEC,
All right.
Atiku and INEC.
Can you be more audible?
I've read those cases. In as much as I feel that decision is unfortunate, that is my feelings.
Oh, yeah, that's feeling.
The interpretation of the and that pronouncement. I have the feelings that that interpretation, like the case involving Gospel like Babio, involving former
Ahmed Lawan,
the case involving the governor of Imo State as we speak today. These are cases that when you set them up, you will discover that those cases were decided on other things based on other than the law. So that decision, the Supreme Court did not actually say, it depends on the content that the allied guideline. The Supreme Court said the Electoral Act did not say that, they did not say that if IREF or did not work, then that is the only basis of determining the result of election. That if for any reason IREF fails to work, the election can still be determined by other methods. The thing that was which was why they were saying in the recent. So you should make IREF this amendment. Those some of us were agitating to look. Now you must have to introduce in the Electoral Act that there must be real time. Real time transmission, so that the law has provided for it. So if that does not happen, then it will be a basis. It means you have flighted the Electoral Act. You understand what I mean? Because in those cases, even though when INEC issued said the IRF will be available and so they said, even the case of what is this also states, they said because IRF did not, that's not the INEC can also resort to manual. So that is giving them according to that decision. It didn't say that they can resort to other means, manual, as stated also in the guideline.
Okay.
To calculate or to determine the result, which was why in the subsequent amendment that came up, this is your last year, we were saying in order to cure that mischief that the Supreme Court noticed or pronounced upon in the case of Obi and INEC and Atiku and INEC, why don't you have real transmission in real time?
Be embedded in the law.
Yeah, so if in subsequent elections, INEC would allows or anybody or through their own acts, the IRF not to function, that will invalidate the result of the election. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Which they also avoided in the amendment of the Electoral Act. So it's not as if the INEC, the Supreme Court said the INEC guideline it didn't say so. But they said INEC guideline. Yes, but the Electoral Act did not provide that is the only way you can then you can resort to INEC can resort to manual. So that's why there were attempts to close that, to completely close that leeway, which people feel is give them the carte blanche, first INEC the carte blanche to manipulate if they want to manipulate. Why don't we now amend to say real-time transmission? As we are voting, it's being transmitted automatically. So
does that show that Mr. President is actually fighting corruption? Not forgetting El-Rufai's wife who made a cry, who made a plea that my husband has spent 150 days in detention. What happens to rule of law? Does it mean that charges against him are not bailable? Well, let's begin with Prince Adeyemi Adeniyi, the agency or the fake agency DG. Now he seems to be then he should sit on the
For the
floor.
fact you accept somebody must put him on
But that's what police said. They said he should sit on the floor to take questions from them.
You see, that is the, and the bank said, look, I can't answer. I've said my name, but I'm not going to, if they were allowed to touch him, they would have tortured him to, that was, that is how we abuse the system. Dignity. The fact that the man is alleged to have committed an offense, if arrested him, the constitution says every accused person is deemed innocent. You know what is innocent? It's deemed that he has not done that, he has not committed an offense until he's proven. Until he's proven to be guilty. So why would you arrest somebody why would you arrest an innocent person and ask him to sit on the floor?
Is he innocent? Or is presumed to be innocent?
The Constitution says he's innocent. When you say presume, you said, don't you ever think in your mind that he has committed offense until you go to court and prove it. That's what the law says now. I don't know. So what is presumption of innocence and innocence? What is different? Presumption of innocence. You have alleged that he has committed offense. Yes. But in spite of the fact that you have alleged there are allegations that he has committed offense, you should see him as if he has not committed until you go before the court and adduce evidence to show that he has in fact committed that offense, and the court will not sentence him. You not treat him, you not get him, move him away and treat him as somebody who has committed an offense. That's what he said, an alleged offense. So asking to sit on the floor, it's just unconstitutional. One, it violates the principle of presumption of innocence. It also violates the right to dignity of human person. You don't ask person to sit on the floor.
But we know very well in this country, police torture people to extract statements.
You have asked me, I'm telling you what our law, where they have gone wrong.
Okay.
So I say, and also alluded to the fact that it's only in this place that we do things like that. So they're not supposed to ask him to sit on the floor. They're not even supposed to ask him. It's like trying to humiliate him, trying to show Nigerians this man is a criminal.
Yeah. That the president is fighting corruption
when he has not even come before the court of law. So it is their responsibility to, and at that level, they are still carrying out investigation. You are still investigating an offense. That is one aspect of it. So it was wrong for him to be asked to sit on the floor, for him to be humiliated. It was also wrong. That is against the presumption of innocence. That's against the constitutional provision to dignity of human person, as clearly stated in our constitution. Then, the other aspect of the question is whether you said people are saying article and said panel of what did you
independent probe panel.
Why what for?
So you mean that we don't need any independent probe panel when we have police? Because people
are
not trusting police.
That is the problem.
People are not trusting police. People are not trusting the presidency. People are not saying that they are saying you cannot be a judge in your own case. That this relate to you.
Wait. What is the function of the police? What is the function of the DSS? That you go to section 2 of the National Security Act. What is the function of DSS? And that offense is actually has to do. It's an offense probably that requires DSS or the police investigation. Why must you? Why must you consist a pitch panel? Since the panel has not turned into. So you see, that is the way in other clients where things work. As soon as that allegation was made, the police will just go and knock and apprehend him, or the DSS. Then they begin investigation. You don't even need the presidency to ask them to do that. Because when I hear in some news item people say the president has directed the police or directed, you don't need to be directed to do their work. The law has directed you. So you don't need anybody to direct you, just like EFCC said the president has directed EFCC, directed the police to do.
Because they're not independent.
So you hear
they are the offshoot of the president.
No. You hear these things only in Nigeria. So do they need a directive of if somebody has committed or alleged to have committed an offense? That is enough to spring. That's enough to spring the machinery of the law into action. You don't need any directive now.
Well,
because the law of the land, that is the reason why you have the police. This is section 214, 215. That's why you have the DSS, you have all those intelligence agencies. You don't need any directive. The FCC Act says that. You don't need any directive. But because of the way we function, we have a law, and we function the other way around. Against the law that based on which these agencies enabled to function.
Yeah.
So they don't need any data from anybody to do those work. They don't need any panel. The police should be able to apprehend the man. And also because in this kind of, there's no, most offenses, most crimes are not committed by one person alone. That's why you have the principle that have the participants criminal. There are people who are accessory before the fact, who enabled you.
Who enabled that very crime.
So after you have committed the offense, who also enable you to sustain the commission of the offense. That's what they call participants criminals. And it could be people who enabled you, parties to an offense, who enabled you, aided you to commit the offense, and people who knowing that you commit the offense help you to continue to hide whatever you are stealing, or to continue to commit. So these are accessory before or after the fact.
Okay.
So that offense we are not taking. That offense, can you now say? Can anybody say that man committed that offense allegedly alone? It's not possible.
It's not possible.
So why are we talking of the Prince Adeyemi? Why are we not talking of
those that were involved?
Who were those that enabled him to get an office space at the Federal Secretariat?
Yeah.
Who were those that helped him to open CBN account with the CBN? What are the requirements of opening CBN account? Why was he able to satisfy those requirements? Did he satisfy them? If he did, how was he able to do so?
And he was seen taking pictures with the members of National Assembly, even the presidency.
If he did not satisfy why did the CBN open those accounts?
No.
So then the National Assembly, the agency has a code.
Yeah.
It's a national budget. Who incited the agency national budget? And the 1.something billion.
1.03 billion.
1.something billion.
1.3 billion.
Earmarked for the agency. How? Was the man responsible for inserting those things in the budget?
No.
You know what I mean? So people did that. So who?
And those, I think,
who are those that did all those things?
They say they acted based on the fake documents he submitted.
Who are those that enabled them?
They say they acted.
Who are those that are supposed to look at those fake documents? Why do you have the DSL? Why do you have that didn't detect those? So
they don't even know
so today somebody can now we are that.
So you can forge signature
and penetrate inside that and say fake to enter inside as a rock. So who are those? Who are those whose duty it is to detect all those things that did not detect all?
Now let's
ignore those.
Your points are clear, Honorable Chibuenwezo. Let's quickly look at some of the claims Adeyemi is actually making, and then he is asking Mr. President to establish an independent investigative panel to examine the existence of the presidential, to establish, in fact, to even find out if that very presidential council, how it existed, what brought about it. You also called on Mr. President that the budgetary allocations, his allegation against public officials, and what he described as assassination attempts against his person, saying why he was actually in hiding was there were threats by those who are highly connected, threatening to kill him if he dare say anything. That was why he went into hiding. Not that he never wanted to turn in for police investigation, but the presidency has said, one, that this man, before now, apart from what we are talking about now, in 2016 and 2017, that Adeyemi presented himself as the President General and Ambassador of the World Youth Organization, YWO, claiming it was affiliated with the United Nations and that he had been elected in New Delhi, India. But the UN later reportedly denied that YWO, World Youth Organization, was a UN body. In fact, that it was a UN body or affiliate, that it does not in any way sit in any of these positions. And the same Adeyemi described himself as having a history, in fact, of trying to help people intervene whenever they have issues with the government, saying that he's a powerful, intermediary. But then, in all of this, I want to ask you, Chibuenwezo, Honorable Chibuenwezo, can we look at his claim? Can we look at one of the claims that he was appointed legally, that the chief of staff, he paid allegedly 400 million through an intermediary towards what he described as 600 million naira agreements and arrangements that what was actually the case was alleged balance. Think about some of the claims he's making. Money he said he paid, and then alleged 48% takeoff grant, which he says was the genesis of the problem. Another thing he said, can we make investigation? He said that these things are to be subverted by police, that Mr. President should set up an independent investigative panel. What do you have to say about that?
You see, I repeat my position on the issue of independent. You don't need to set up any.
So you believe you trust Nigerian police to do a thorough job?
Nigeria should not. We shouldn't be running a country as if we are. What is independent? What does that mean?
So do you think police can do it?
Why wouldn't they do it?
But they have not. They have failed in most cases.
Hold on. If police have failed, you think independent will not fail?
Oh,
what is the guarantee
that independent will not fail?
Independent will not fail. If the police, so what is the guarantee that the so-called independent investigation? So when it will not fail? So it's better. Let us not go that area of independence. Let the police see. When I'm not going, you see the fairness that the case of Adeyemi requires. You need to be treated fairly, responsibly. Also, those he mentioned needs also to be treated fairly, like former speaker, like
Gbajabiamila
needs to be treated fairly. So,
but he has instituted a suit against Adeyemi.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If we go to court and prove those suits, you understand what I mean? He said the man has defamed him.
Yeah.
So the clear defense about the commission is that I said the truth. This man provides. So that is out of what we're talking about. So that is out of what we're talking about. That is a private matter between it up there. That particular one.
Okay.
That is a private matter between it up there. That particular one.
Okay.
But dealing with what happens in Nigeria as a whole, about the agency, the fake agency, the surreptitious manner in which that agency was inserted into the system and the man operated. So, if now that the man, these things will be reviewed by investigation. If the man, in his statement, mentions what's Gbajabiamila, then just like what.
But he didn't meet him in person. He said through intermediary.
Does it matter? If somebody asks for you, you are the one acting.
Oh.
If somebody is acting, if it is shown that somebody was acting or acted through you, that person is the one acting. What we say is law. Who doesn't act through does it himself. That's the agency. So it doesn't matter if he paid through somebody or he paid directly. That's not the issue. The issue is that now that the man has mentioned Gbajabiamila and has opened this horrendous, allegations, humongous allegations against him. The non-police Gbajabiamila should now talk to the police. This is the allegation against you. This is what he said. Can you? Is that what I mean? Then the Gbajabiamila should also be interrogated to see if those allegations made by this man to verify are true or not. If they are true, but the Gbajabiamila should also be charged along. It means his complice. In fact, he procured the offense. So when it is what they call persecution is when you slant the investigation. Now it seems as if the man they have slanted the investigation to talking about the fake agency. But man said, look, this was the person that I gave money 400 million, either through proxy or through to enable the creation of it. This is the person that demanded some percentage of the budget of this agency from me, and that is why I have the budget of the agency in the Appropriation Act. So now it is the duty. It is the man. This is the duty of the police now or DSS to now turn the satellite on those people he mentioned to determine whether those things he said.
Do you think police can invite Gbajabiamila without even the president?
Hold on now. What I think.
Okay.
What I think.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they? Are we talking about Nigeria? Are we talking about people?
No, let's talk about reality. You are talking about idealism.
No. Okay.
You are talking about things the way they should be, but let's face reality.
If I come to a program,
yes,
and they want me to talk about the police, then what am I here? What should you buy? What, I mean, that something.
I like your ideal.
Not ideal. That is what we are talking about. How a country
Should be run.
should run. Is that what I'll be saying? So when things are wrong, say it is wrong.
Yes.
So when I come here to say the police, okay, then why are we talking about the issue now? Are you expecting
Yes.
that we come and say the police cannot investigate
Because of their track record or their history?
Like I've told you.
Yes.
You've consistently hammered on people calling for special investigation.
Yeah.
And I've asked you
the difference.
What is the difference between that special? Wouldn't they be the one to cause those special investigation? So if you don't think the police will do the work, if you think the police cannot do the work, what gives you the impression that they could do the work?
Yes.
So let us attack the issue.
The issue?
So it's just because they will still not do the work if they don't want them to do the work.
All right.
So the point I am making is that yes, you've arrested a man. Femi Gbajabiamila. Serious allegation has been made against him. He also deserves to be treated fairly. Fair hearing. He also deserves to be invited. Let him speak on those
issues. So you are saying that Femi Gbajabiamila should be invited by the police, not arrested by the police. What's the difference?
For goodness sake.
You're a lawyer.
Just hold on. What is the procedure? Even that Adeyemi, they said he was invited. Was he not invited?
Police said he was invited, but then he didn't turn up.
It was only when,
yes.
according to them.
Yeah, according to them.
It wasn't when he failed to honor the invitation that they now went to arrest him. The same thing applies. The laws of arrest did not say the only person you cannot arrest in Nigeria, the only persons. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening, of course, the chief executives.
Cannot arrest in Nigeria is the president, vice president, governor, and deputy governor.
Yeah.
These are the only persons you cannot arrest in Nigeria. Another person.
But there are those that before you arrest, you must also seek consent of their agency. Like if you have to arrest judges, you have to get to NJC before you get it. Unless it has nothing to do with court-related issues, unless on criminal matters.
Show me any law. Or cite any law to me that says you want to arrest a judge for committing an offense, you have to go to NJC. No,
not offense. Any issue that has to do with judiciary, probably.
So let's
you have to go to NJC.
Let's stay focused because you are moving away now.
No, I mean any issue that has to do with judiciary, maybe his judgment. No, not on any other.
So let's focus because otherwise you not provoke some other issues.
Okay.
So let's stay focused before you provoke some other issues.
Well, let's go.
Now, there is no law. The only people that you cannot arrest in Nigeria while in office is the president.
There's executive immunity.
Vice president, governor, deputy governor. Others can be arrested. Of course, judges were arrested in this country now. Of course, judges he called me that were alleged to have killed somebody in those days. Somebody died, was arrested and prosecuted. Judges Anyache.
No, we know. These are criminal offenses outside the judicial.
Are we not talking about criminal offense here? Is that what we're discussing? Are we not talking about criminal malfeasance? Is that what I'm talking about? So you're asking me, will the team with the be invited or arrested? They should invite him. If he refuses to come, they should arrest him now.
If he refuses to come.
So,
but that's the way it should be. But we know very well it cannot work that way.
Okay, that is where if it does not work, if it cannot work, then we are not working. We are not. That is why we are here to debate these things. If Mr. Adeyemi they searched for him, they invited him according to them. They said they invited the server, and they went for him, looked for him, and arrested him. In the same manner, people should also be invited to come and speak to those allegations or those issues raised by Mr. Adeyemi. Then, of course, he will go and he must go to respond. If he doesn't go to them, he should be arrested. The president should give him up, he should be arrested, and he must speak. Then, if there's any strain of evidence linking him to those allegations, they should charge him to court.
All right.
That is what we call the rule of law in any democracy.
Yeah.
One of the principles of democracy is the rule of law. The law rules, and not man, not whims, not car price. That is one of the essentials. It's elementary in any democracy. That the law, the predominance of the equality before the law. One, the law reigns. Nobody is placed is above it because the law is the enabler of every activity. Now, equality before the law once the law says if any, that's why if you go to most of these criminals, you say any person who does this,
Yeah.
any person. You not say if Tony Becky or Tuba, you say any person is guilty of an offense. Who does? So if you're a person, even if you're a governor, even the president, the only snag is that they won't arrest you while you are occupying that office. As far as you finish, they'll just come and arrest you.
Arrest you.
The way they're arresting former governors and trying them EFCC and so on and so forth. So my position is that yes, the man has made an allegation. It has been shown that they've arrested the man. Instead of they shouldn't stay in Aso Villa and be throwing missiles at the man. The man has said something, and at least in the public domain. We must investigate those things that he's linking some persons, saying, look, you are the one who gave me a lot of appointment. You are and I gave 400 million, remaining a balance of 200 million. We have to find out whether in fact he parted with such amount of money. Who did he give it to? The person he gave it to, did the person give it to, the person, was that money transmitted to Femi Bajamela? What was Femi Bajamela's involvement in all this? And what are the involvements or is the involvement of some other persons that are not even yet mentioned? They will have to unearth that, and that will be revealed by investigation, not by trying to do some cover-ups, not trying to do some personal attack on the man, because what is at stake is the Nigerian system, the integrity of the Nigerian system, the integrity of. One tomorrow somebody goes abroad to say this in Nigeria. Some people are entitled now begin to look at you whether you are fake or not. So they will be entitled to say, are you sure in fact if somebody says I'm the Minister of External Affairs and the DG of this, from the way we are going, those foreign people will not begin to will not take you by force. They will not begin to go to actually investigate to see if you are what you said you are, or what you are saying you are. So that is the point that I think that needs to be made. Thank you.
All right, that's just for that. And let's quickly take a moment because we know very well that this has been quite heated, but Shiwe Wenzo on our guest has made his point. Please go to our social media. Please go to our Facebook. Please drop your comment on some of these issues. We are going to just take some of the issues. I would also wanted to just make a comment before we go for this commercial about Erufai's wife alleging that her husband has been denied bail. And the last I checked, I don't know how she calculated it, that the husband has stayed for, I think, 150 days or thereabouts. Was saying that they keep renewing his detention, and then why wouldn't he be granted bail? But we know the matter is before the court, but it's a discretion of court. I want to ask you, Honorable Chibuewezo, Erufai's trial, is it political?
Erufai trial, whether it is political. You see, there are some questions, I want to be fair to the system and to everybody. Erufai trial, yes, if let me looking at the surrounding circumstances.
Yeah, okay.
Looking at how the things that happened before Erufai was arrested.
Yes.
Looking at the relationship
Okay.
between Erufai and the presidency before now, and looking at what other people that can be said to have cordial relationship with the presidency and have held offices, and to some people, most of these people have shown reflexes of corruption in their actions.
Okay.
And because they are what you say politically correct, nobody is talking to them. They are even running for other offices. They are being even more patronized. To that extent, Erufai, I can say without any that Erufai's trial. Why Erufai? If Erufai has continued his support for the presidency.
You are saying that this could not have happened?
Of course, yes.
But then are you saying it's political or not political?
I've said so. I said it's political.
It's political.
So.
But remember, he said he wiretaped the office of the National Security Advisor and other things he said.
So how things work in other places, that, like I said earlier, I alluded earlier. that the law says something.
Mm.
Anybody, any person that seems to have contravened that law
Should be.
should be talking to the appropriate.
Oh, okay.
So if there are people who will also declare contract, and they're not talking to somebody else is talking to them, that's political. It's not the law speaking, it's the whims.
So, does it mean that the presidency or the government cannot try El-Rufai when it didn't fit most? The government try everybody at the same time?
I'm not saying the government cannot try El-Rufai. What I'm saying is that the system must function in such a manner as not to, in not a manner that people will not begin to think that sacred cows.
Oh, sacred
The
cows.
system must function on a neutral platform.
Level playing field for everybody.
Neutral. That's how systems work.
So if it doesn't function that way, it is political.
So if it doesn't, there are other considerations other than protecting the law, other than protecting the system. There are other considerations for which this person is not being tried outside, other than. Because if it is basically on the basis of somebody has gone against the law, anybody, and he is being singled out, then it's no longer the law, it's all that there are other considerations. So if there are other considerations, then what else if it is not political? So if El-Rufai, just like Malami and co, and it is good, and just imagine if all this humongous could be seized from people, these 5 people.
Malami, and then Ashimogu,
and
you also
Ashimogu.
you have
So are you now telling me, for goodness,
even a Mefele, there was
even
about $2.something million worth in a Lagos mansion.
Look at the level of debauchery that people treat.
And then yesterday, I think one of
and
our
this are tip of the aspect. If you now holistically deal with people who have made away with Commonwealth, that alone can put Nigeria on the So Nigeria should function. And if you, it is mind-boggling when I see these things. It's mind-boggling. How do we survive as a nation?
Okay.
So to answer your question pointedly without any further equivocation, is that I don't have problem with trying of El-Rufai at all. Or any person. I don't have, God forbid, for me to have issues with that. My issue is that when you slant it, just for then it's not, then it will not bring us any good, because those people also, all you need to be is to try to be politically correct. Just do you are evil. Don't do your, then try to be politically correct. So you have already made excuse for people. People will be held before the EFCC, just like what we have in the case of the former governor of Delta State, for example, who I understand had a lot of EFCC cases, just like the former Senate president as we speak today. A lot of years when he left PDP, when he entered the National Assembly as a minority whip for the PDP, after some days or weeks, he moved to the APC. And before then, we were told there were so many other EFCC issues. So how come those EFCC issues are not in the front burner anymore? So how come?
Okay.
Then the case of the former governor of Delta State, Dokowa, that case was public domain before El-Rufai issue came up. So why? And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So there examples are galore.
There are many. And just like we said, somebody was telling me that he has made calculations of the final forfeitures made by courts on Mefele's property, and then Malami properties, and these things can fix our health care system in this country. In fact, about how many? 57 properties for Malami. These are going into private pockets. Just look at one man in 80s acquired over 57 properties. What billions that can even fix even our health, transportation, and so many things. But the person amazed these things to himself. It's very, very unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. There was a time Nigeria was lending money to IMF, lending money to World Bank for them to support development projects in other countries. But today, we go cap in a hand begging these people.
That is the problem. That is the concern of many people. I don't have problem with trial of anybody at all. But look at, but when it is not encouraging, it's not building a society. When we look into the way we do, look at, for example, look at Nelson Mika, for example. The man has boasted that he has Rolls Royce. Well, why did the guy want to buy Rolls Royce? Which work did he do?
Now his father was rich.
No, which work did he do? You see, which work did he do? It's a local government chairman, governor, minister. And you have fleets of Rolls Royce. You have there's hotels, and those people, those members of the River State House of Assembly, why they were struggling with the government? Who was paying them? What was the money? Why are they getting the money to pay them? Who was? Do you think they were not paying?
Are you not aware that some judges have hotels using process?
Do you think those
judges have hotels?
Do you think those who are not being paid? Who was paying them? Who was possibly patrolling them? From where? You understand the kind of thing? You know, so these are things. These are things that you look at. You said some judges have hotels. Where they get the money from?
And these hotels are managed by process.
Where did they get the money from? If not from the, from places from actions that are not supposed to earn them such money. Somebody is a minister of foreign competence, and he has boasted. He's not known to have done any business before the public that he has Rolls Royce. Of course, yes, I have Rolls Royce. Of course, yes, I have this hotel. Of course, yes, and has crippled effective governance of the state, and has even said, I was responsible for this man becoming governor. Therefore, saying something that says he has undermined our democracy. And nothing has happened.
All right,
so
let's see
what are we
how
talking about?
Let's really touch this before we take this break and then come back and open the phone lines. 2 days ago, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, wrote a post on his Facebook social media handle. President Tinubu is intentionally rebuilding the Southeast. In fact, that was the title of that very post he made. And he said he can't contain his joy and that of the people regarding the great news from Dikesimba Anambra, Dikesimba Ndibo, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Certainly the president, according to him, has a date with history and even more so with the Southeast. He continues to demonstrate his avowed commitment to orchestrating the reconstruction of the Southeast, thereby finally healing the wounds of the Civil War. There are several unprecedented foundational infrastructural effects going on in the Southeast at the moment, and he said, we will celebrate the full list later. Otosha Dam Abaji Kogi, about 108 kilometers to be dualized, and Obanewe Oga Ihube Okigwe Junction connecting Anambra Imo to the Enugu Port Harcourt Road, which also passes through Abia State, about 150 kilometers to be going on there. A new flyover is going on there. Look at the other lane of the Enugu Onitsha Expressway, Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, so many projects going on in Southeast. I want to ask you, Chibwenwezo, is President Tinubu intentionally rebuilding Southeast with these humongous projects scattered everywhere in the Southeast?
And thank you. Where are the humongous projects?
Mention a few of them. So many of them.
Let me tell you, you see, why we are sent to school, why we say we are educated, we are enlightened, is to reason properly. I'm disappointed with people when people talk the way Soludo. It's a serious disappointment. He's only advancing his own personal interest. That Tinubu is rebuilding sites. He's assuming that those roads have been awarded. So it's a favor Tinubu is doing.
Rebuilding process.
It's a favor now that Tinubu is doing to the people of South. That's why otherwise we don't deserve.
He didn't say favor. He said rebuilding, intentionally rebuilding.
He said we should be grateful to him. We should. That is rebuilding.
I didn't see where he said we should be grateful.
He was saying that Tinubu is rebuilding South.
No, let me read it. He didn't say we should be grateful.
Read it again.
All right. He said certainly President Tinubu has a deal with history, and even more so with the Southeast. He continues to demonstrate his avowed commitment to orchestrating the reconstruction of the Southeast, thereby finally healing the wounds of the Civil War. There are several unprecedented foundational infrastructure effects going on in the Southeast at the moment. Of course, he said that we will celebrate that later. But the news he will celebrate the list of these projects. That's what he said. We will celebrate the full list. The full list of this project. Now, but the news from him is history of himself. Of course, he said, I met him. He met the president on Wednesday, July 1st. The next day, the Honorable Minister for Works and Infrastructure, Dave Omai, contacted him to send him the details of the road, and we had repeatedly. Okay.
You see, in Nigeria, this part, we should also be very, very reasonable, like educated people. So he met with the president.
To discuss about the
After
projects.
meeting
Okay.
president, so the president, you need to meet the president for the president for his Southeast to have projects in the Southeast. So he needs Soludo is now taking the credit that he made with the president. It is only after meeting the president that those
No. Contextually matters. The project before now was to be a single lane, but he met him for
That's what I'm saying.
dualization.
But that's simple. He met him and he's governed now.
Yes.
Magnanimously now.
Of course, that's the president.
Magnanimously.
Yes.
The one kind Santa doing us favor.
Of course.
Press here,
Of
he
course, the
now
way we-
agreed.
Yeah.
Just hold on. He now agreed to
Yes.
do allow those rules. So we should be grateful.
He didn't say you are the one
I'm
adding
coming
that.
now.
You are the one
I-
adding that.
please,
You are the
I
one.
understand.
He didn't say we
I
should be
under-
grateful.
I understand it.
He didn't say that. You are the one adding that. You did not add or you did not subtract.
Allow me now. I understand.
You should not add and
Allow me
subtract.
now.
So please, God.
I don't need to use his words, but
Okay.
the implication. You should be they should be celebrated later. When you are celebrating,
Celebrate the list of the projects.
whether the list or projects,
All right,
you are
let's
celebrating.
go on.
Why should we celebrate list of projects?
Hmm.
Why should we celebrate? I don't know that those things, assuming it is true, it's not something that federal government owes the people of Anambra Nigerians. Is that not their duty to do these things?
Okay.
You see, I'm not. Please, why should we celebrate? What is the assuming that it is true? Then what is the assuming that it's? You see how people, the same Soludo during the time of Jonathan did some analysis. During the time of Jonathan, the same Soludo himself that is talking today,
Okay.
because his political interest aligns with political interest that dictates what he says now. He doesn't tell us we should celebrate that after meeting the president, and after meeting with the president, the
That's
president
fair.
has is now rebelling in Southeast. So Soludo as an economist.
Yeah.
Well, if from 1970 to speak today, Soludo in all honesty tell us that what the Southeast are getting today is what they deserve. They are getting.
Right. Let's list some of the projects going on in Southeast
Allow me
about because of time. We have about 13
You
projects.
have listed it all.
No,
How many
there are so
other-
many 13 projects going
hold
on.
on now. You can even do 100 projects.
But you know, Nigerian
Look,
political
hold on.
system.
As we speak, Southeast,
Okay.
Northeast, Nigeria is far underdeveloped.
Nigeria
Nigeria as we speak.
is far underdeveloped.
Just hold on now. So what has been the effort of source, even including this government? So Soludo,
Why you were in
So- so
government?
no,
Why
don't-
was
don't-
Anambra State
don't-
also
don't-
not too
don't
developed?
personalize this thing.
Okay, you don't want me to personalize it.
Otherwise, you give me if it's not a person. If you want to talk about me, just tell me.
No, your time in government,
No,
not
come.
you. Yeah,
My time in government, I was in legislature.
Yes.
So can we even stay now? Then we were saying
And I think
Just hold on.
B2B and then
under Obiano.
okay.
And are we satisfied? Are we getting enough from the system? If we're getting enough, why is it that our system we can't, as we speak, afford this thing? Our people cannot afford this thing.
Why is it so?
Why is it so? It's so true to me. Why are we talking like this? And our children are abroad. All of them are abroad. This beautiful child is. Why wouldn't he? So they're living in Nigeria. Why wouldn't he bring his children to this beautiful place? But he has been fit to take his children abroad. Some of us, our children are abroad. Why are we denying ourselves? We are things work.
You've been there most
Just
times
go-
when you go out there
Yes, that's-
and come back.
It-
I've seen your pictures
yes,
in Canada, in United States of
It is
America.
because I'm exposed, and also I understand. I don't live. I went to school. I'm educated. I also applied that education to my thinking.
Right.
But for anybody to say Tinubu,
It's intentionally rebuilding something.
It's not rebuilding something. That is not.
All right, you want to tell me that somebody cannot say Trump is intentionally rebuilding Texas, rebuilding Oklahoma, rebuilding, and you say that is everything wrong with if Trump is doing something in a particular state, and then you say that he's intentionally. You say there's anything wrong with that?
If you watch the way the American system works,
Yes.
Trump is not talking about roads. It's not talking about. Don't talk about those things. I mean, they're not. These things work.
And he praised himself for doing that too.
Hold on.
Whatever he does,
No,
he praises
no,
himself.
hold on. You don't need to praise Trump. Last year I was in New York, and many construction going on in New York. I was in Maryland, and they told me that this thing happens. It's like snap on the finger. You don't need to pray. They don't praise Trump for that. They don't praise anybody. The system works. The start people pay taxes. And these things works. The agency that must do this. Look at Asaba. If you go to Asaba Airport now, it take you 3 hours.
Well, for me, let me tell you something.
So don't tell me. My problem is that don't tell me. My problem is that don't as if they are doing Nigeria.
But they do roads in the United States of America.
We need to do 1,000 projects.
1,000?
Just hold on.
1,000 projects?
Let us. Our people, you are a media person. Our people are all over the world.
Okay.
Doing work they should never do in their lifetime.
You see them?
Don't you see them?
I have not been.
Don't you have your phone?
They do works they shouldn't have done in their life.
They're all over the world. As of today, Nigeria is not the property headquarters of the world. In every indices of life. Why is people? Children is an economist. Why is it the same?
All right, let's quickly open the phone lines because just like you said, no, the truth is, I understand. We know how the system works here, but I also want to let you know that President Trump, approved almost 211-mile industrial access road in Alaska. In fact, he praised himself for doing that, saying that sleeping Biden could not even approve this road. And we also look at interstate and highway grants because, I don't want to talk about them because they have their own problem. Let's talk about our own problem here. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, because we have 2 commercials to play, and then we'll come back and we continue. It's, getting heated up, and that is why it is called crossfire. It can never be one-sided. It must be crossed. The fire has to be crossed. We'll be right back after the break.
Udala Radio, 104.7 FM.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread. For your family breakfast, Wendy's bread. Opa chichane tozialo, Wendy's bread. Mama, papa, they like Wendy's bread. Chichane nyanduo, Wendy's bread. Even children, they like Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. And in town, Wendy's bread. You get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread. Wendy's your bachichoma. Wendy's bread.
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, 2nd Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside CPS, Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza, Atani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
When the stakes are high, the debates get hotter. When the issues demand clarity, we bring the fire. Welcome to Crossfire. Crossfire, where politics meets perspective, where issues are dissected, and where no topic is off limits. From the corridors of power to the pulse of the streets, we break down the politics, the controversies, and the decisions that shape our nation. Join Dr. Tony Olisangbeki as he puts guests on the hot seat, drilling them with the tough questions, demanding the hard truths, and leaving no room for half measures. Get ready for fearless conversations and uncompromising analysis. Crossfire, exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha, every Saturday from 9 a.m.
Hi, Chief Martin Mabweze. Agobuso na dulu kofia. Ichie Akubudike. Ozomandi Ichie. Onyisi oche nke Ichie Akubudike Foundation. Na ogoku kibia sonyere ha na 2026 na mmemme mkpikpa Umudioka. Ogabo boche Saturday abadiri na Sato nke onwa July afa. Mwoko elekere na abwa nke etiti ụbọchị. Ebe ogadi mebona n'ilo Ugwueze nke Umudioka. Awe were ohere awe na akpọ ogbe iri dị n'Umudioka ọka ka ha buru mmanwụ ha wee pụtaba ka anyị wee chekwaba ihe nketa anyị nakwazi omenala anyị. Ihe ndị ọzọ ga-akpa ndị mmadụ obi aṅụrị ụbọchị ahụ gụnyere mmanwụ ijele, Laja Live Band, igosipụta mmanwụ dị iche iche, egwu dị iche iche, ya nakwazi ihe ndị ọzọ ga-akpa gị obi aṅụrị. Mkpikpa Festival, omenala anyị, ihe nketa anyị, ihe anyị ji akpa nganga.
You're welcome back. Let's quickly open the phone lines for you to start making your submission. Please, just like I said earlier on, please go to our social media handle, Facebook. Please share the post, share the video so that others will watch what we are doing here and broadcast it to other people. It is your role, it is your responsibility, it is your duty to get this across different people. Just share the post. All right, let's quickly open the phone lines like we called out the lines earlier on 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. It's very important. We must limit you to a minute because of time. And remember, it has to be crossed. The fire has to be crossed. Let's go straight to the phone lines. I am still your honorable speaker, Tony Olisenbeki. All right. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, my speaker, Tony Mbeke.
You're welcome.
Good morning, our guest.
Good morning.
This is the voice of Honorable Ignatius Okoye from our chief kingdom, but I'm calling from the.
You're welcome, Honorable Ignatius Okoye.
My speaker, in fact, I'm sad. This is this kind of corruption is highest coordinated corruption in the history of this country. There's no way this government can tell us that the executive are ignorant of what is happening. The presidency. This corruption emanates from the presidency. If research is done or true investigation is done, many heads will roll out for a highest level. But I try to cover it. And you see, and another thing is this. Another people I may ignorate in this game is only judiciary for now. The highest organ of lawmakers are involved in this game. How can they come and start telling Nigerians that this kind of institution this setup in the president, no, the president is not aware, the secretaries are not aware, the presidency, all of them are not aware. Look, if this is in China, they will tie them all up and shut them all, kill all of them, because this is where we are not getting it right. See the government, see what is suffering we are suffering. Our brother has said that many Nigerians are outside the country suffering. Some are dying in desert, some are dying in the seas.
All right.
Nothing to eat.
All right.
I'm sad.
All right, you're really sad.
God will handle these people normally.
All right, thank you so
They
much.
don't know that after this, they will have the time for judgment.
All right.
I'm done.
That is life, because I remember in the 70s when Nigerians travel outside the country, they are treated as queens and kings. They don't do menial works, but then here things have turned out. A country that used to lend money to IMF, World Bank is now borrowing, and people are all over the world doing the kind of works they may not have done before. Many of them are caregivers in many homes, and then many of them are wanderers, homeless. Oh, come on. Let's go back to the phone lines. All right. Good morning. Are you there? All right, let's go back to the phone lines. What has happened to Nigeria? Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Joining you from.
You're welcome, Chidi Shuguma.
Yes, talking of that young man. What we don't know is that that man is a very, very smart guy, international fraudster. The people that engage him know him very, very well. And that is why they engage him. So when people started talking about why he did not submit himself for the arrest to the police or something of that nature, I said that you don't know what you are saying. arrange himself for what he's going to face. Remember, during the discussion with our dear barrister, Emuzo, you didn't bring the person. Somebody has died on that matter. That is very fire that killed somebody in the hotel. You didn't bring it into discussion on this matter. You see why anybody that is involved in that fraud must be very, very cautious, because if you fail to do what you're supposed to do, you will die in a mysterious way, because they are going to kill people to save themselves. Because if you know the people that are involved in this matter, you'll be shocked. But I don't feel that anything that come out of it. Our analyst this morning, Barry was you are talking that we are calling for independent investigation, and you can see you are due. Contradicts you to that. Why can you trust her?
Are you there? You say, can he trust what? Okay, I don't think...
that some of them are the stooge of executive, and most of the people that are involved are members of executive. And I can tell you that those people, that this case is dead on arrival. Look at how the police handle that matter. If you see the arrest in different foreign lands, when they arrest even a very vicious criminal, you see how they handle the person. Even when they want to put him in black marina or car, all of them will put their hand on the top of the roof of the car so that he will knock his head in there, protecting him, giving him every sense of belonging.
This, because according to you, journalists, opinion leaders of thought, those who are ardent, critics, can also be involved, so that for we to get what we are looking for. Good morning. You're welcome.
My name is Comrade Walton. I'm calling you from Onitsha.
You're welcome, Comrade Walton. Please go on.
Thank you, the barrister in the house.
Thank you, my brother.
Now, to the post released by the governor of Anambra State, President Tinubu. Just like I said before, that is the highest level of eco-science. Yes. Okay. Let us start from that order. Newe, Oga, Akokwa Road. I traveled that road this morning. And remember, that road, the politics, concerning that road is dated back to in the era of Jonathan, and to Buhari, with all the shenanigans done by Ifeanyi Uba and all of that. Today, that road is still, in fact, some sections has been done. There are sections that have been, and as I'm speaking, there's no even caterpillar. Yeah, it's contained in that statement released by the governor while he was praising. Now, to the Ochocha, Abaji, whatever, we learned that the road has just been approved, or approved for redesign or whatever. It has not even captured in the budget. So it becomes a case of Onye Kwerenkwa police. You see, all these policies, I don't like it at all. Okay? What we are getting from the federal government, what the party is getting from the federal government, is not even 1/4 of what we should get. As a region in the Nigerian territory. So why all these things, when government does what it's supposed to do, you start praising them for what? And I know that those things have political undertones. Please, somebody should tell our governor. These are legitimate demands, not friendship something. This is not a favor. Let them remove those favor something that we are doing favors. After all, other regions in this country has a way funded by federal government. There is none in the southeast.
All right.
And the seaport and all the rest. So they should remove all these things. Let them focus on what I. If you want to make friends with the president,
First of all, the answer is Sparta. That is intimidation. Now, they are instituting a case against him. Any person he mentions his name should come up clear and clear his name. A proof is his innocence. He has mentioned Bajabi Amila. Why is Bajabi Amila still occupying that space? He should stay step aside for unhindered investigation. What do you mean? As for Erufai and others, look, what we are saying is that what of Yahya Bello? How much has this required that? Is it not moving freely for testing for election? 210 trillion missing from NNPC. They have submitted under the carpet by the senior president. What has president done? Our country has a lot to do. This should not be a country at all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Remember when Mele Kiaro, the former group managing director of NNPC, was mentioned to be brought for
something. You always said that the evidence of proof land on the shoulder of a person that accused the other person.
Yes.
So for now, but the Amina don't have anything to say now to answer now. Let Adeyemi prove. Let people have to prove.
We are saying that before now, there is this very legal principle that onus propandi incubit equi.
As fighters of corruption, whenever an allegation is made, for instance, that this agent find himself in the budget and the budget was passed, and this Prince Adeyemi could not have sponsored an executive bill and brought before the National Assembly. And the presidency, the government does not bother to inquire, to make an inquest on how this allegedly called fake agent entered the budget. Who was behind it? And we are expecting it has spelled doom for this nation. So for me, as far as the elite, the bourgeois are involved, you dare not feel it. If you dare, the instrument of state that is not independent, that doesn't work, will be used to guard such a place. So that is the fate of this President. Even if independent investigators comes, the fate of the NSAS inquest will become its fate. So I will have my case on that. And for me,
all right, thank you so much.
The statement of our governor is equals to the kind of statement we used to hear during the electoral season by Hope Uzodinma and then to former President Buhari that because of the Niger bridge that he has now showed Southeast social, we know this is political. And this political rhetoric will keep coming. People showing their allegiance and loyalty to the party they are supporting. So for us, it makes no sense.
All right, thank you so much. Because what do you expect from someone who said that Tinubu human rights record is worse than Asani Abacha? I don't know who said that. I don't think this was said here. All right, you have John Ungana says, good morning, Ogeda in case it's in Osimoho. Good morning, Barrister Shibo Enwezo. Your presence on Crossfire whenever you are invited is always a blessing. I'm not surprised that the governor eulogized the president. Hence, the progressives would always work together. Southeast remains the least when compared with federal presence in other zones. Enough of all these sentiments that doesn't benefit. Enough of all these sentiments that do not benefit anyone. Thank you so much, Tony, for playing well. Your devil's advocate role. I'm John Ghana. These at investigative stage.
This somebody has mentioned you're linking your name to some, activity that is not permitted by law. So, what that is the man mentioned, then they should get your own version. You should be investigating. This is the investigation. This is not the stage of proof. The stage of proof, we get to that stage when now the government decide to charge them to court. Just like Adeyemi. By the time they charge him to court for fraud, they have to prove the elements, to show that actually he was fraudulent.
Right.
Like I said earlier, by the time they ask him to sit on the floor for what offense, it's just an allegation. Just to sit on the floor, hasn't found guilty of an offense. By the time they begin to treat him in a manner that degrade his personality, That is not what the law says. So we don't confuse proof with people responding to the allegation against them. Somebody is saying, somebody who has been alleged to have committed an offense, saying you are part of the offense.
He said, you have to, establish the material elements before I can even say if we are or we are not.
You did it. Then the next line of the is also that you respond. What is the level of your involvement in this criminal act? It's after you people have made statement to the police will now see whether there is a prima facie case. That's why they send the case to the Attorney General office. Who will, if there's a prima facie case against any of those people mentioned, to charge the court. By the time they charge the court, they will not adduce the proof to prove the offense alleged. Not at this, nothing like proof by a day or by anyone. Right. Then
quickly, because of time, quickly.
Then I think yes, on the issue of, I agree completely that Soludo's statement is actually borders on psychopathy, and it shouldn't at this level. You should please concentrate to make an umbrella better, and not all these
progressives are working together. What do you expect? We have elections coming up.
It is demeaning. It is honestly, it is demeaning, and it shouldn't be. Somebody like him shouldn't be involved with this kind of.
But he's a politician.
He can work with it. Yes, but the South it deserves, and he knows that.
And then who is arguing for Southeast? Nobody. Who is arguing for Southeast? They have representatives, they have this, but who is arguing? They have been.
You don't even need to argue.
Why you don't get it a la carte?
No.
Who gets what a la carte?
That's not a la carte.
What do you?
No. You don't need, no. That is the problem that we have.
You don't have that system that says that you must function. Can you take government to court for failing to do anything? I'm asking you, Honorable Shibu. Can you take government to court?
You don't take government.
Why?
No.
Why can't we?
Hold on.
Can't we?
That's nothing like like that, it's not begging for what you have for
because the constitution has made it to beg.
You're not
the constitution has made it to beg. You know why?
You know why? The constitution says in section 14(2)(b), the welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government.
You said it.
And the constitution you said in section 1(2), is it 1(2)? That said all the resources of government, the resources of me and you, are domiciled with government should.
But Honorable Shibu,
I'm coming. Inflation account.
Hold